Okay, verses 12 through 15. It says, wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men, from men whose words are perverse, who leave the straight paths to walk in dark ways, who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways. One of the things that wisdom will save us from is bad company, right? What does Paul say to the Corinthians? Bad company does what? Corrupts good character. That's right. And remember, flip back to chapter 1. Last week we saw when Solomon warned his son about joining what sounds like this street gang, right? He says, chapter 1, verse 10, if sinners entice you, do not give in to them. If they say, come along with us, let's lie in wait for someone's blood. Let's waylay some harmless soul. Let's swallow them alive like the grave and whole like those who go down to the pit. We will get all sorts of valuable things and fill our houses with plunder. Throw in your lot with us, and we will share a common purse. My son, do not go along with them. Do not set foot on their paths. So in those verses, Solomon reveals three different things in these verses in Proverbs chapter 2 now. He reveals three different things that can help us identify those he refers to as wicked. Okay, wisdom will save you from the ways of wicked men. And then he tells us three descriptors for who these wicked men are, what they look like. Okay, first of all, their words are perverse. It means that they say things that are twisted and deformed. They say things that are not as they should be. And so this is a very broad description of words. It could refer to lies. It could refer to coarse joking. It could refer to swearing and cussing. It could refer to just not honoring God the way God should be honored. Anything, any speech that isn't how God would want the speech to be would fall under this term of perverse speech. Okay? So when you are listening to people, or when people come to talk to you, all right, you hear what they have to say. And I think that particularly with the spiritual gift of discernment, but do you ever have alarms go off? Boing, 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 boing. That ain't right. I don't like that. That doesn't sound right. This teaching isn't in accordance with God's word, whatever. That's the idea here. So one of the ways you can identify the wicked is that their words are perverse. They say things they ought not to say. And the Bible connects this with saying things that cause division and strife. The Bible connects this with saying things to make others uncomfortable. The Bible connects this with saying things that promote evil. And the Bible connects this with saying things that are anti-God. Another indicator he mentions in verses 12 through 15, another indicator of the wicked is the way they act or the lifestyle they lead. Solomon describes them as leaving the straight paths and walking in darkness. He says their paths are crooked. Their ways are devious. Throughout the book of Proverbs, there are two paths or two roads presented. Okay? One is the path of sinners, and it is described as a crooked path. It is described as a dangerous path. It is described as a path that ends in destruction. It is a path that is slippery. It is a path that is dangerous to travel. The other path is the path of God's wisdom. And that is described throughout the book of Proverbs as a straight path, as a path that is comfortable and easy to travel because you're protected. Because you're choosing wisdom, as we just were talking about, you're protected from certain things because you live for and obey God's word. Okay? So, another way you can identify the wicked is the lifestyle they lead. They've left the straight paths, they're walking in darkness, their paths are crooked, and their ways are devious. But it's not just that they do bad things, but it's that they really, really, really enjoy doing bad things. Okay? Some people do bad things and they feel guilty. They feel bad. They don't want to repeat it. But he says the wicked delight in doing wrong, and they rejoice in the perverseness of evil. To delight in doing wrong means their spontaneous emotional response is glee and joy and happiness. To rejoice in it means that they vigorously and enthusiastically encourage others to join them in it. Kind of interesting what those words mean, isn't it? Yep. And so, as I was reading this through and studying this out, it made me think of Romans chapter 1, right? Eventually, we're going to get to the day where sin and evil is celebrated and declared to be the way of righteousness, and the way of God is going to be attacked and maligned and